If you are reading this, you don't have much time left. You may want to run away or hide, but once I explain the situation, you will sadly know that this is simply not a possibility. But before we go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Joseph Schroeder. I'm an undercover investigator for the Widerstand German resistance and have been sent to infiltrate and gain knowledge about the Nazi regime in the Monowitz concentration camp. Why I tell you all this, you may ask? Well, my reason is simple. I myself am living off borrowed time. They know I'm an imposter, and it's only a matter of time before they find me and execute me. Therefore, I have taken it upon myself to warn you of the horrors I have witnessed and foretell you of your inevitable fate. The concentration camps are not what they seem. I didn't think it could get any worse than the gas chambers and the twisted experiments, but by God, I wish I was wrong. They're planning something big. The Nazis are in full knowledge that the war is now virtually unwinnable, but they still want the last say. During my time undercover at Monowitz, I was able to work my way up to a supervisor, which meant I oversaw a lot of the activity that went on inside the camp. It sounds horrible, but I actually became accustomed to the things I saw happen to those innocent Jews. Watching the light fade from their eyes as they were often shot on sight for stepping out of line, or hearing the desperate cries of a mother as her child is dragged away from her, just became part of my everyday life. Of course, at first it was shocking to see, but I could not react because if I did, I would have ended up like one of them, as they would know I was an imposter. Like I said before though, this was not the worst thing I saw at Monowitz. In fact, it was far from it. As a supervisor, I would not only oversee the concentration camps themselves, but also inside the laboratories. While in there, I learnt of their master plan, the something big I mentioned before. It did not have an official name, but most who spoke of it referred to it as Das Reinigung Project, which translates into English as the Cleansing Project. As a supervisor, I didn't have access to the files on the project, but I was able to piece together the basics from what I heard when listening into conversations between scientists that were involved. I was able to deduce that the Nazis are growing seeds, laced with tetrodotoxin, or TTX for short. This is a poison commonly found in pufferfish that, if ingested by humans, will cause complete paralysis of the body, along with seizures and the inability to speak or swallow. For those who are unfortunate enough to come into contact with TTX, death comes after just 6 hours, and there is no cure. These TTX seeds have been planted in different locations around the globe, such as America and the United Kingdom, amongst other enemies. These seeds will eventually grow into birch trees, which have a lifespan of around 140 years. Once that lifespan is up, the tree will decompose back into the soil from which they grew. This will release the TTX back into the soil, making it uninhabitable, meaning nothing can grow on it. This will coincide with the poison that will inevitably contaminate our rivers and oceans as the infected soil is washed away into the waters, killing all fish, plants, animals and humans who consume it. As I write this now, the year is 1944. By the turn of the 22nd century, their plan will be fully in motion. The trees will have decomposed and it will already be too late. You may try to cut the trees down or dig up their roots, but that will only accelerate the process, releasing the poison quicker. Burning them will do nothing but release the poison as a gas, contaminating the atmosphere. As I said, there's no way to stop it. You may want to run and hide, but you can't. All you can do is make the most of the time you have left. And if you will not live to meet this inevitable fate, pray for those who will. Pray that those 6 hours before death are as painless as humanly possible.